Okay, so now it's November 27th of 2022. What time is it, Amari? Huh? Maybe 4:30 in the morning? And what's Nana gonna do? Huh? Well, you see that box there, people? That big one on the bottom? That's been sitting pretty much right there for over a year. What it's meant for is to make a puppet house, right? So you can do puppet shows. Tisha's like, well, you just get rid of that box out. You never do nothing. It's been sitting there for... She hasn't said anything lately. But anyway, I'm just going to cut to the chase today. And I'm going to start, because it's, the kids, they go inside and whatever. And it needs to be supported. I was going to use wood, and I still might. But for now, I'm just going to use what I have. You see, I'm going to add in extra reinforcement where I want it. I'm going to start gray taping it up, because what I'm going to end up doing is making a cover for it with fabric, because I've got fabric all over this house, right? So the first one I'm going to make in terms of fabric is this, and it's a polyester, and it's a nice weight, hey? And then after the fact, because it's a neutral tone, I've got other fabric that I can cut into pieces, and we can decorate over this fabric. Right? And then eventually, if I ever have time, I can just do another solid color in something else. But for now, we're starting with this, because I have, I probably got 40 to 50 puppets, like little hand puppets, right? Back in my Value Village days, and when I was out and about working with the kids or whatever it was, thinking. Anyway, this is something I've been wanting to do for over a year. So I'm just going to work on it today. So hold on a minute. Okay, so obviously this is going to require sewing. You can see I got a nice ruler here. Okay, right? I'm going to do it today. I'm going to frame this up, okay? And this fabric is easy enough to cut on the floor for what it's worth, because it's nothing fancy. So I can lay out, I have enough floor space here to lay out 4 meters, right? Not even 4 meters, 2.5 meters, maybe 3 at best. But I don't need too much. I only need 1 meter and a bit. So I'll have more than enough room, right? And I'll cut out the initial cover for this box as if I can sew in there, people, right? Oh boy, this is what I mean. I did manage to clear off here a little bit, but then of course, we got distracted. So this is done. But that's not done. Look at that. Look at this mess. This is pathetic. But if I can just clear off that, I don't even really need that to do what I need to do over here for what it's worth. And I know Alea May would love this. And little Kyrie, oh, he's so cute. He's walking around and right? The only issue I have is Tisha likes to bring them later on in the evening, and by that time, I've been up for 16, 18 hours sometimes, and it's oh. Anyway, get this going. Hold on. Okay, so talk about a different kind of video here. Anyway, first thing is first, I have to reinforce it, because over the last year, the kids, they've been in and out of it, and they've been having a lot of fun with it, but it could be a lot more funner than what it's been. So anyway, I'm going to do these pieces of cardboard that I just cut to size. I'm putting one on the outside, because I'm reinforcing this, right? And then, oh boy, so we got one on the outside. Fold this over, right? Anything to give it extra support. And then I'm going to put one on the inside. So now we've got, and I'm going to tape it up real good with gray tape. Okay? And then I'm going to cut out a couple of windows here. Let's just imagine on the side. So we've got the main one, which will be a different kind of shape. It will be more of a rectangle lengthwise, where this one is more like a rectangle widthwise. So we'll just imagine on this side, you see they already tried. Oh, that's for the cats. The cat's going in and out of that. Anyway, Leia May will come and be so surprised. So do you see how well that fits right there? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut. Where am I? Here I am. So take your center point, draw your line. I'm going to make a window frame. And then I'm going to tape it on. Right? Maybe do it on both sides just to give it that structure. Right? Because don't forget, this is all going to be covered up with fabric. What we want is the structure. And then if you make it the frame where it's fairly solid, then you can run curtains. Right? Just saying. Okay, so you just do the best that you can, as you can see here. Right? So now I'm going to take this and cut the inside line. Put this on the outside, this one on the inside, and I'm going to tape it up, and that will be our first window. What were you carrying on about? Huh? What? Oh boy. But you like that sound? Is that it? Yeah? You think so, huh? You must. Maybe that's what it is. You didn't start doing that until I started pulling this tape again. Yeah. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. Right? If it can sit there unused, basically, well, it was well used, really, but unmade for a year, it can sit there for another year made, right? In terms of it will be a puppet show, right? Right, Amari? Puppet show? Huh? Is that it? So we have to get in the inside and do this on this one on the inside. So how are we going to do that? He was just carrying on and on and on and on. I'm going to go through a whole roll of tape. That's what we need. Right. What we need is to do this from the inside. And then I get to go inside a puppet show. Well, a puppet house, right? Okay, so you can see what I've done. So now I'm just going to take a strip and just go over to reinforce on both sides on the inside. Okay? And as an afterthought, from the inside, because the inside won't have fabric, right? You could take a cloth and you could wipe this because it's wipeable. Just keeping that in mind, right? Okay, so I got the windows done. Now, this is all because it's been in my living room over there for a year with kids playing in it. Everybody's played in it, okay? Even the cats. So anyway, you can see what's happening here. It's lost its shape, right? So I'm not cutting this off. I'm just folding it like that because I want to keep that nice, okay? As much, if you can see, I'm trying to keep it as nice as possible, okay? Right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to use gravity in our favor. So we take the higher part of this box, we put it up there, and do you see how it's bending up? Where this one is bending down, so that you get that force, right? So now I'm gonna put this on with gray tape so it's nice and secure, and then you'll see it will make the bottom, right, secure. And then I'll tape on this one, and then I still have one more piece, so hold on. Okay, so first batch of dates is pretty much done. Now, when I took it through the blender, I should have taken out the larger chunks at that time because they were softer and easier to detect. And then I dehydrated some more, which it's fine now. Just make sure that it's completely cool before you put it into your container, whatever that container is. right? And as long as you don't get moss, you'll be fine, right? Don't use an oxygen absorber with it, just like as if it was a raisin. Because it's still going to hold a little bit of moisture because of the sugar, right? But over a period of time in your container, in this case I'm going to use jars, right? It's going to dry. And remember, when you put it in your jar, shake it around for a week or two, just to irrigate it, right? But other than that, it's good. I like it. And I think combining this with the golden berry, when it was dehydrating, oh man, it smelled so good. With the two of them dehydrating at the same time. So I think it's going to make a really good combination. And you can sneak in molasses with this, most definitely, which I'm going to do. And it's a food that will stay for a long time outside of getting a moth infestation in your container. Then you're going to have problems, right? So you can see what I'm doing. Just taking out the larger chunks. I should have done that the first time around, but whatever. I'm not too worried about it. Right? Hold on. Okay, I'm going to finish this video. Of course I got detoured, right? It is, what time is it? I've been doing laundry. Trying to stay positive, people. Anyway, it is November 29th of 2022 at about 8:45 in the morning, and I've been up since about 5:30 because I'm taking a new eye drop, and it says, I guess one of the side effects is you can get dizzy. And something else in there Tisha mentioned to me. And anyway, let's first introduce Little Mo. So I'm going to talk about Little Mo and what she represents at this point, okay? Because this little cat is not mine. It showed up on Sunday morning, a day after Mo fell off a 30-story building, okay? I mentioned it in one of my previous videos that somebody had fallen off. I knew who it was, I just didn't mention his name. He was a young man. I'm pretty sure he was Jamaican. I'm pretty sure he was Jamaican, but he could have been African. Who was only 28 years old, people. Only 28 years old. Like, it's so sad. So he fell off the balcony. He fell off the balcony Friday morning, this last Friday. Today's only Tuesday, okay? At about 7 in the morning. And nobody's seen him fall. Nobody heard him. The only reason he was found is because the daylight was coming out and people were walking up and down the street and they seen his body laying, you know, on the ground. So that's how they discovered he was dead. This is all like around 7 o'clock in the morning. Okay? Now this young man, who was calling me Mama Lynn, showed up at my doorstep about 3 weeks ago. Knock, knock, knock. And I only met him once before. You see, that's the thing. And that was when they had when the girls had the birthday celebration at the park in July of this last year, right? Of this year, right? That's when I first met Mo with his girlfriend, Paige, who is the friend of Tisha and Shimei. who is the daughter of a friend of mine that I met when I was living in that fourplex with the grow-op, because she had her kids and I had my kids, and that's when I was doing park events and all that kind of stuff, and events out in businesses and just little events. So her kids participated in those events with my kids, and they became friends. So that's how, right? And when Shimei died, Paige was there. When Sierra died, Paige was there. And then Paige's sister got shot with that murder unsolved, because we're in British Columbia, Canada, and we know how it goes out here, right? The boyfriend got shot in the foot, but Shayna got shot in the head. Well, that's Paige's sister. Anyway, she was dating Mo. Okay, so I met Mo at the birthday celebration at the park. That's the first time I met him. And because Paige grew up with me, with being the Mama Lynn, doing the things that I was doing, there's a lot of people that just remember me as Mama Lynn. Okay, and this cat wants to go, but this is little Mo now, okay? Because this cat showed up 24 hours after Mo died, okay? I'm going to tell you the story behind it. So anyway, I don't hear or see Mo again for a long time, until he showed up at my door about 3 weeks ago. About 3 weeks ago. And he knock. Open the door. I go, yes, because I can't recognize him, right? I don't know who he is. Oh, hi, Mama Lynn. How are you? Don't you remember me? And I'm Mo, and and how you doing? And I'm like, I'm doing good. Like, what's up? Oh, well, I'm just across the street here with Paige. Paige is across the street, and, and she told me this is where you live, and I just wanted to come by and say hi. And he's like this, right? And I'm like, okay, so what's up? You're calling me Mama Lynn. Anyone that calls me Mama Lynn is like calling me out into the community to set up the DJ equipment. That's the feel that I get to encourage goodwill, people. Right? And I'm like, okay. So, now the thing about my neighbors is they just moved in. They haven't even been there for a few months. Okay? And it's a weird little house, because there's two groups of people that are there. One group uses a part of the house to make meals for Punjabis, basically, because it's what they're cooking is Punjabi food. So you've got the morning shift with the women cooking and doing and whatever, and that right? It's all day long, right? That's where I get my scraps from for the composts and stuff, right? To enrich the dirt, because they're cooking. They cook for schools and stuff, like for their schools, their Kelsa schools, right? They make meals for their Kelsa schools and that type of thing. So you've got that group in there that's really active and, during the day, a lot of chatter, whatever it is. Okay, whatever. It's been like that for years. Doesn't bother me. I like them. They're nice people. They've never hurt me, right? Okay. And I guess new tenants moved into the actual house itself. It took me a while to figure it out, but eventually, in the summertime when I was looking for help in the yard, willing to pay for it, people. There was a bunch of guys out there. They were black, but whatever, and I had already been called out from that house once before with Carlos going, Mama Lynn, Mama Lynn. And then he comes running across the street, right? Next thing you know, I'm talking to his brother, and they're wanting to do a park event because they remember what it was like when back in the day when Mama Lynn was running around with the drums and all this shit, right? Okay. And then, time goes, so anyway, I approached the men to see if there was anyone that was willing to work, but apparently he had a bad need, so he ended up bailing out, but whatever, I didn't push it. Okay, whatever, right? And then, but they like to party, though, these guys, right? With their wives, I suppose, because my son was going to sell his car. Long story short, this is important, right? Because it's like messing with my head. It's messing with my psyche, right? I'm not going to rush with this either, because it all kind of fitting together here. So anyway, my son, they wanted to buy the car. So my son wheel and deal, and he sold the car to one of them in the group. Next thing you know, I've got this native woman storming over. I had two native women. One was really nice, friendly, whatever. Another one just came by out of the blue because now my son's car is gone, right? And I guess she wasn't informed as to what was going on, and she just assumed that it was her African husband. This is a native woman with her African husband bought this car without discussing it with her, right? So she came over here real angry and mad, scowling, and did so-and-so, she names off this name, right? Buy this car. And I'm like, who? Like, I don't know who you're talking about because I just met those people. I don't even remember their names. And as far as I know, one of them wanted to buy my son's car, so you have to take it up with that person. I don't know who you're talking about. This is when I was working in the yard, right? Well, he better not have, because if he is, it's going to be shit to pay. And she storms off, and I'm like, holy crap, like, have a nice day, right? But, I've been in this house for 12 years, people, right? I've seen a lot of people come and go from that little house, but this is a different kind of crowd, right? So, okay, whatever. So we've got Carlos already knowing that I live here, calling me out. We've got Paige calling me out, talking about Mama Lynn to everybody over there. Next thing you know it, Mo shows up because he remembers me from the park, and I'm sure Paige has told him about all the things that we used to do, right? And I don't know, he wanted to connect to it, people. That's the only thing that I could think of. Because even Tisha, like, why is he coming to your door? Well, what does he want? And I'm like, well, I don't know. He, just wanted to chat, right? But I was getting a sense, people, like, just like with Carlos, and his brother, and Mo coming, I really just get the sense that these young men really just want to band together, be that crew, and put on a park event and do those little things that I used to do, but I'm not capable of doing it anymore because I just don't, I can't fucking see, right? I don't drive, and anyway, that was my feeling, right? It took a brave young man to come to my door and say, hey, Mama Lynn, how you doing? Remember you met me at the park, and I'm just across the street hanging out over there. Paige is there, but she's a little drunk, so she doesn't want to come over and say hi, but I thought I would, have a good day. And then he left. Okay, fine, no problem, right? And then Friday, I get up early. I get up anywhere between 2, well, sometimes 1. Depends on when I fall asleep. I don't know how these eye drops are going to work for me. Like right now, I'm putting one in at 5:30 in the morning, and the other one in at 5:30 at night, trying to. And then I got to do another one kind of when I fall asleep, but that's a hit and miss, and who knows how long I'm going to sleep for, and who knows when I'm going to wake up. And so I don't know about these eye drops, people, but I'm really giving this eye doctor a fair chance. Okay, so anyway, I'm up. My cats, I got 3 to 4 cats. Well, Elsie lives downstairs more now, right? But every now and then Elsie will sneak herself up here and hang out and do whatever, right? So, and there was a time when she was like, here, okay, so the point is, I get up, doesn't matter what time it is that I get up, it's not long before the cats start moving around and meowing one by one to let them out. It doesn't matter if it's 2 o'clock in the morning, 3, 4, 5, whatever it is, I'm opening and closing my door, letting out freaking cats. I do this, it's like a ritual, because they don't stop meowing, and they get on my nerves, they get underneath my feet. Okay, so whatever. I'm letting out the cats on Friday morning, around 5 or 6 in the morning. Well, it was 6. It was 6. You see, that's the thing. Let's see. That would have been the 25th. Okay? That would have been the 25th. And, okay. So, I'm out there around 6 in the morning, smoking, whatever, opening and closing the door. And like I said, these guys, as a group, nobody in particular, I think, because I think they have a lot of friends in the community that just come by Like the people that are, oh, hi, Mama Lynn, they don't live there, but they somehow go visit. So, whatever. Anyway, I opened the door, you know, a few times, and finally at 6 in the morning, and I'm standing around, maybe having a smoke or whatever it is, and looking around, and because I look outside, I try to see how well I can see. And I hear them outside, because sometimes they're fighting, and you know, they're running up and down the street at 4 in the morning. Like I say, there's the morning shift with the Punjabis, loud from freaking whenever to whenever, and then the night shift kicks in. That's, I think it's kind of funny, honestly, because it's just a little house that never stops. Right? There's a small window of period of when it's quiet, but other than that, it's full of activity from different people. And obviously people in the community go visit, right? Okay, and Mo was visiting that morning for whatever reason, and I guess he seen me out on the porch. And while he was seeing me out on my front porch, it was about 6 o'clock in the morning, he was on the phone with his girlfriend. And they were talking, and he apparently made arrangements to go talk to her because they were having relationship problems, and I guess they were trying to work it out. I don't know. And he seen me outside, and he says, oh, you know, I'm going to go say hi to Mama Lynn. And this is where Paige says, no, like, it's too early in the morning. What are you thinking? It's only 6 o'clock in the morning. No, just leave her alone, you know, just come into the house. He goes, oh, okay. So he hangs up the phone. Now, I don't know it's Mo outside. I just know that there's people out there chattering. Okay? It didn't sound like anyone was fighting Friday morning, but there's been times where I've opened up the door and there's been fight over there, fight over there, fight over there, like arguing, kind of, not fighting, but just a lot of arguing, right? And it probably has to do with dysfunctional relationships between a man and a woman, and just, you know how that goes, right? So besides that point, it's none of my business. So, you know, people argue, right? So I just close my door and go on about whatever it is that I do. It's like when the Syrians had that one huge fight, and I was out there weeding, and that mother was going on for like 3 hours at the top of her lungs. It had me, and things were moving around in there. And I was, oh my God, I hope I don't have to call the police if they start smashing shit in there. Right? So, you know, I was like, not too many things get me. But when that Syrian mother went off, oh boy. That was starting to really kind of frighten me. But besides that point, okay, so I don't know Mo is outside. I don't know that Mo is wanting to come see me and telling his girlfriend that he was going to come over and say hi. I don't know any of this. Okay, so fine. Later on in the day, I don't know at what time, I can't remember, Tisha calls me up and says Mo is dead. I said, what? Okay, well, that's odd. Why? How? Well, you know, okay, I told you I was going to look after the kids. I did. Anyway, basically, in a nutshell, from what I can understand at this point, because Paige wasn't there when this happened, she was waiting for him to come, because he said that he was going to go to her house after he left my neighbor's house. Okay? But he wanted to talk to me and say hi first before he went to Paige's, but she said, no, it's too early in the morning. Okay. So anyway, I guess what happened, in a nutshell, is he got detoured. Instead of going to Paige's house, he ended up going up the road here, not too far, 10, 15 minutes away, and went up into a high-rise building, 30 floors up, where there was a party going on, I guess, by this time, 6:30 in the morning, or whatever it was, and you know, it only takes 10 minutes to walk there. And if he's seeing me at 6, and he's pretty much dead by 7 or so, or whatever it was, I mean, that's a very small window of time, right? He goes up to that party, and apparently nobody's seen him fall. Everybody is saying that they seen him, oh no, everybody is saying that they thought that he had left the party. So therefore, they didn't go looking for him because they thought he left on his own accord. Nobody was aware that he was even on the balcony or went out onto the balcony. Right? But for whatever reason, he did, with nobody noticing, and decided to, what? Fall off the balcony? And then just wait for some passerby to see his body, to call the cops, and... But that's what happened, right? So I guess that the cops located from where he fell from. The party was still going on, and then some dude did a Snapchat, apparently, and put it out there that Mo was dead. Rest in peace, shit happens. It's sad. And then they all, whoever was there, for the most part, because I don't know who was there, continued to party and just carried on with whatever it was that they were doing. Maybe they were in shock. I don't know. I just find that to be kind of unusual, and it makes me think of Kanika Jenkins. I'm sorry, it does. Right? So that's how Paige found out. Because people started posting on Paige's Facebook wall, we're sorry, you know, let Mo rest in peace. And she's going like, what? What do you mean? Because she's still waiting for him to show up. Right? But only he ain't showing up. But how is it that I'm in this mix, people? You see, that's the thing, right? What if he would have came and said hi to me? What was I going to do? Turn him away? Who knows? You know, would I invite him in and say, oh, have a coffee before you go to Paige? Probably not. But I'd be like, yeah, okay, well, you know, if that's what you're going to do, well, you know, just take it easy and go slow and, you know, you guys can work it out and, right? And, or whatever message he was going to give me at 6 o'clock in the morning. Oh, hey, Mama Lynn, I see you out in the porch. What are you doing? Well, I'm letting out my freaking cats. They're driving me nuts. If I don't let them out, you know, they meow, 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 meow. And the stupid things, they all won't go out at one time. They want me to open the door, close the door, open the door, let them out one by one by one. So it takes me like a half an hour just to let them all out, right? Because, you know, they're little buggers, right? Okay, so, you know, all right. So I'm like trying to not get suspicious here, people, because I know what the RCMP are like in British Columbia, Canada, to which they are impotent and refuse to do proper investigations. Okay, I personally do not feel that Mo went to a 30-story building just so that he could jump off it. Okay, especially when he had plans to do other things. All right, I just don't see it. And when he came to my door the first time I seen him, the impression that I got, honestly, was the same impression that I got from Carlos and any of those young people that I used to do things with, and they remember. You see, that's the thing. They remember what it felt like. Maybe Mo didn't remember, but maybe by just hearing what Paige had to say and Carlos had to say, because clearly they're over there, so there's other people that know me that go over there, right, that talk about the good old days. Right? You know what I'm saying? So maybe he just wanted to connect to those good old days and be an instrument to recreate the wheel when it came to a bit of community activism. Right? Young people, you know, they need that direction. They need that moral support. They need that opportunity. You know, they need to be told that they can do it. They need to be in a position where people allow them to do it. You know, like, seriously, if he would still be alive today, we don't know. Between him and Carlos and whoever else next door, we could have set up a park event if we really wanted to. And I'd still be just Mama Lynn. The only difference is I'd be blind. Dirt. Or maybe completely blind for all we know in a year from now. But Mo is dead now. And it's like everybody's just being hush about it by simply saying, well, we didn't know he did that. We thought he left. Yeah, okay. You thought he left. Right. Well, I find that hard to believe. I do, people. Will I ever get to the truth of the matter? Obviously not. Tisha tells me, Mom, you're not Inspector Gadget. Leave it alone. I'm like, yeah, I know that, Tisha. But, you know, he was definitely trying to connect with me, tell me something, get involved with, I don't know what it was, people. This man had no reason to be knocking on my door. Hey, Mama Lynn, how you doing? Blah, 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 blah. And then want to reach out and do it again at 6 o'clock in the morning just because he seen me. Maybe he knew something was up and he wanted to get the fuck away from those people and he couldn't. And he seen me and he wanted to use me as the excuse. Who knows? I'm just saying. But he was, you know, we don't we can't put our fingers on the time of death of somebody. Just like with Shimei. I'm not gonna rush with this video, okay? Just like with Shimei. You know how many times I don't want to say beat myself up, kind of beat myself up for not saving her. But then, if I think like that, and think that whatever I'm thinking I could have done to save Shimei might have been more dire with the end consequences of what was happening to her, with her being poisoned, people, with medical fentanyl without her realizing it. In other words, what I'm trying to say is, by 1:30 in the morning, on Wednesday morning, on the morning she was murdered, okay, I said, gee, Shimei, you have to go downstairs for a little while because I'm tired and I need to rest. Okay? You know, yes, the baby has a cold, but you're his mom, and, you know, you can handle it. If you really need me, I'm upstairs. But for now, you need to go downstairs so I can just shut everything down and rest. Because you have to remember, she was with me for 2 full days. Minus on Tuesday morning when she went off and did all her paperwork for college, which she was going to go to within 12 days. Even though she wasn't feeling very well, because she was getting these waves as she was smoking her cigarettes. She was getting her doses of medical fentanyl that was making her feel nauseated, that was making her feel woozy, that actually made her fall asleep. We thought it was just the cold or a flu or something like that. But it wasn't. It was medical fentanyl that was knocking her out little by little, surely by surely. And all it would have taken is one more big hit to really fucking kill her. And I'm like, geez, Judy, if you would have left her upstairs sleeping on the couch, or even let her go into Andre's room and sleep on the bed with Andre, because you have to remember, I'd slept a lot on the couch. I still do, right? You know what I'm saying? She could have died on my couch, people, and I would have came out of the bedroom, or I would have went into the bedroom and she'd be laying on the bed or the couch. It wouldn't have mattered which one, dead as a doornail with Amari right beside her. I mean, what's worse? What's worse? Going through that, right? In terms of, if I wouldn't have sent her down, I could have saved her. I could have caught her. But what if I went to sleep and she died when I was sleeping, as she was on the couch with Amari? I come out and Amari's on the floor, and there's Shmei, dead as a doornail, just as dead as she was when she was downstairs, when Julian ran up the stairs and told me to come downstairs, but didn't tell me why. And then when I did get down there, he just stood back and watched the drama unfold. This is some serious shit that goes on in British Columbia, Canada, people. So I don't believe, it's not even trust. I don't believe in the narrative that I'm hearing about what happened to little Mo. I'm sorry, Mo. Mo. Who's little Mo? Well, this little cat that just showed up out of nowhere all of a sudden and won't go away. Serious. That's the name I'm going to give it. If I can't find its home. I'm serious. I'm giving it little Mo. Because that cat showed up Sunday morning. Sunday morning, people. And won't go away. It acts like it lives here now. And it's so friendly. And personable. Like Mo. Right? It's just, only this one's a female, right? But she's so personable and friendly and loving and just, you know? And I'm like, why? And it's a black and white cat. And I'm like, why now? Why, after all this time, does this cat show up after Mo falls off a freaking 30-story building right before he wants to talk to me? Right before he wants to talk to me. Like, what is the message in it, people? You know? I'm too sensitive. I feel like I got another ghost in the house. I do. I've got Shimei, I've got Uncle John, I've got Sierra, and now I've got Mo. I literally feel like I've got another ghost in the house. And I don't mean it in a bad kind of way, but just, a spirit of some kind. And the cat is the representation to that spirit. Because he needed a voice. You see, that's what Mama Lynn represented, was a voice for these young people to get up there on the mic and, start spinning their turntables and, doing whatever they do when we get out in the community and do things. You see, that's the thing. So, like, for me, it's like, I feel like Mo needs a voice. And I'm the voice for him. I don't know what kind of voice it's going to be. This might be the only time his story will ever get out there. I feel really bad for his parents. Like, you don't know how bad I feel for his parents, people. Like, whatever happened was uncalled for. And then for everybody to be, well, we didn't know. We thought he left. Yeah, okay, you're in a dinky little apartment, 30 floors up, and nobody's seen him go out in the balcony. Like, what kind of fucking drugs are you doing? Like, how much do you have to drink before you wake up and smell the coffee and find out that it's not going to get you anywhere in life? Like, whatever. Right? Yeah, I can't beat up on my neighbors. I can't accuse my neighbors of anything. I don't have no intentions of accusing my neighbors because I don't know who the hell was at that party. I don't know how many people were at that party. I don't even know why people are partying at 6:30 in the morning after partying all night long yet. And then want to continue partying. Right? But people do what people do. I don't cast judgment. I used to do the same shit when I was young. Right? More reason for what I did, the things that I did, was to just be a good role model. To which now brings me to the next subject. I'm like so choked with YouTube, man. YouTube does not support anything that I do, people. Honest to God. Okay, I'm not going to pick on YouTube staff, but clearly there's something going on here because my last video, right? Which, the American black women, blah, 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 blah. Okay, listen, I'm going through another mourning stage. I'm going into mourning, okay? With the loss of the federal trademark in the United States of America. Because it's like its own entity where so many people turned its back on it for self-interest purposes, right? Which goes against everything that I believe in terms of the potential of the American black people, or any American for that matter, when they put their minds to it and want to be proactive for their communities, for their states, and for their country. That will never leave me. However, there's only so much that I can do these days, as if I can do much of anything outside of what I've been doing. And so I'm kind of going through like I'm going into mourning once I don't re-register anything and I let the trademark slide off to the side. Okay. So, of course, I'm going to speak out about the riff-raff on YouTube in terms of the fakery. The fakery of what that company purports as professional. I'm really trying to choose my words here correctly. And important. Okay? When in fact, if you watch that video, the American black woman, I mean, come on. Right? So, anyway, long story short, my girlfriend, who I think we have agreed to disagree, phoned me up on the phone and says, "Take down that video. I'm worried for you, and you don't understand, you're going to get gang stalked even more, and, people are going to come after you, and I'm like, oh, God, don't worry about that shit. I already got that problem here in British Columbia, Canada, like, fuck, I'm used to it, right? And just, but I'm spooked, right? I'm feeling spooked right now because of Mo and little Mo showing up at the house, and, you know, and I'm like really trying to internalize the message here, and you know, it's like it's like Mo's voice is screaming from the rooftops, people. Only he can't get his words out because he's dead now, and I'm left hanging with his words, and I don't know exactly what it was that he was trying to say when he was knocking on my door saying, "Hey, Mama Lynn, how you doing?" Well, yeah, babe, I know you're Mama Lynn. You got that one right. You know, what do you want to do? Go to South Park and just run it? Because, you know, that's where it brings me to, people. When you're dealing with young people like that, and he's not the first one. I'm working in my yard, and I hear Mama Lynn, Mama Lynn. And I'm looking around, and here comes Carlos. Oh, yeah, we need to do this, and we need to do that. And like, oh, and I'm like, yeah, well, you know, we can do all these things if you just come to and help me with it. Versus just showing up and participating, you have to help me set it up. You know, you got to bring the tables, you got to bring this, you got to, because I can't do it anymore. You know, where before he just used to show up and participate as a young person, a kid or whatever. Well, a kid, really. Right? But yeah, I'm left with Mo's words, and I feel like, you know, he's at the top of the roof there, you know, wants to holler out at the top of the rooftop there to get the message of some kind, I don't know what kind. And then this cat just shows up, just, you know, out of the blue, won't go away, and is way too friendly, and tries to communicate, and I just don't get it. So anyway, my girlfriend here on YouTube, you know, she calling me up on the phone, and she's saying, well, you know, you need to take down that video because there's a lot of black people in the United States of America that wouldn't necessarily understand what you were trying to say. And, you know, even myself, I couldn't listen to it. And I told her, well, you need to listen to the whole thing, because if you listen to the whole message, you would have heard me say that the American black people as a whole have the potential of making really good, positive change because it's in their DNA, it's in their history, right? It's in within their capabilities. But of course, you know, we've been molded under that manufactured poverty, while some of us are prospering while others are not. And unfortunately, YouTube feeds into that, I don't know, what do you want to call it, by propping up the riffraff as they bury the greater message, or even the opportunity for that matter. Because after we got off the phone, we agreed to disagree, because I told her I wasn't taking down the video because it's important to break down barriers, right? In terms of if we want to come together or bring about change for a positive result, then we have to break down barriers. And anytime when you're a community activist, you have to put yourself in the line of fire in order to be able to protect the children, right? So that the children aren't targeted, but you yourself become targeted for the naysayers in the community that don't want to hear the message for the greater good of the community, right? So anyway, now she geeking up my goat, right? And saying, well, when do you have to finalize this decision with the trademark? And I'm like, well, December 27th of 2022. And, oh, well, you know, and we're talking on the phone, right? Oh, well, you know, I know somebody that wants to do this, this, and this. And, you know, how do you feel about that? And well, that's exactly what we need, right? We need a legitimate organization that's willing to license out the trademark, take it national, right? I can't do it. I've been trying to do outreach for years, right? And like, if you think that this individual would be willing to take a chance, I guess, on himself, on his immediate surrounding community, with a vision to take it across the country for the betterment of his nation, who am I to stop him? Right? You know, really, that's all I've been working for the last 22 years. It would be grand if that could happen. So I'm not going to slam the door in his face and say, no, fuck off, you know, no, I'm not interested in even you to even contemplate such an idea. I'm like, okay, well, you know, you're kind of geeky, I'm feeling it, right? She's geeking me up. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm starting to feel hopeful here, right? And I'm like, oh, just calm down. You know, you have to be realistic, right? So now I'm talking through comment section on the video with her about this situation, right? In terms of, well, if you think your friend is serious about taking on the leadership role for the trademark in terms of what it represents for charities and foundations and societies and those types of things, churches or whatever, right? With a mission statement to help others, right? If you think that your friend is seriously capable of taking on that type of challenge, well, the first thing is, you know, the only thing that he needs from me at this point in life would be my John Henry on the re-registration of the trademark so that it buys him 10 years. Not me, because I'm not the one doing the work, people. It will be him and his crew, right? And you see, this is where little Mo, this is where Mo, because I got little Mo running around reminding me that, he's got something to say here, people. I'm sorry, you're not going to look at me at 6 o'clock in the morning crying on about you want to come see me and say, hey, Mama Lynn, blah, 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 and then 1 hour later be dead with nobody noticing. And then expect everybody just to stay mum on it. I'm not going to stay mum on it, people. Not when there is a little bit of hope where there might be one man out of 380 million people in the United States of America who might step up to the plate and take on the role of being a freaking leader, a true leader, right? For change, for positive change, for all those little Mo's in the United States of America falling through the cracks. Or maybe onto the cracks. Okay? Okay, that, like, right? If he's going to do it for any reason, do it for all the little Mo's in the community that need help, that need direction, that need protection, that need support, that need opportunity, that need the chance to develop life skills and experiences that get them through life. So, right, of course I didn't write all that, but that's what I'm feeling, right? Because she's inspiring hope into me and giving me, instead of me going into mourning with the loss of the trademark, she's feeding into, well, there's still a little bit of hope here. This guy might jump on the bandwagon because I know he's interested in doing this. I'll see if I can contact him, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, so I got to take this serious, Judy. You know, anytime opportunity comes knocking on the door, you have to take it fucking serious. So it's not like you want to play this dude. You don't even know this dude, but you want to be fair to this dude. You want to, right? So I'm typing that, okay, well, the only thing that he needs from me is my signature. He can go get his own trademark lawyer, right? I don't have to use the one that I phoned up out of the blue that's in Seattle. He can go find a trademark lawyer that can do the work for $350 for one class. He can pick the freaking class that he wants, right? And just whatever. I give him the moral support. You got your 10 fucking years, right? But the thing is, I kind of overspent, so maybe at best I can cough up $800 guaranteed Canadian funds. Because to me, that's just 2 bills. That's Commerce, $400, and MasterCard, $400. It's not like I can't carry over that balance and play catch up the next month. Okay? I'd rather see one man have opportunity for 10 years. True opportunity for 10 years. To help the little Mo's in the community. One Mo at a time. Okay? Whether male or female, doesn't matter. A young person is a young person is a young person is a young person. Okay? Then pay freaking blood money on credit cards that should have been paid off years ago. And it ain't nothing I can't deal with next month. Seriously. Right? But the question is, so she comes back. So I'm letting her know I'm willing to do my part. Right? Maybe he can find a lawyer that will just volunteer their time, like Ann Carlson did when I was working with the Trademark in the very beginning stages. She did things for me through charity, right? She didn't charge me all the necessary fees that were being charged along the way. That's not to say I didn't pay fees, because I did. But like, for example, she'd write me out some contracts, simple contracts, $3 a year, right? Blah, blah, blah. Gave me a choice of 1 or 2 or 3. I don't remember. I have to dig them up today because I'm going to look for them, and I'm going to try and turn them into PDF files, and then I'm going to forward them to my friend so that she can forward them to him so that he can read them and see that they're real, familiarize himself, and then if he's mistrustful of the process, he can go get his own freaking trademark lawyer, right? Get that lawyer to verify that I'm legitimate, and he's got a copy of the contracts that are easy enough to tweak and make them suitable for his own needs as he needs them, when he needs them, with my moral support, because that's all he's going to get from me. That's all it ever has been from me. It's just getting the right person with leadership skills to take on the challenge. So then she comes back. So now I confirm that, okay, I'm up for it. Okay, you inspired me. You got me a little hopeful, even though I'm mistrustful of the hope, right? I don't, right? You know what I'm saying? and okay, and we're doing this through chat, right? On message through the video comment section. Okay. And then she comes back and she says, oh, well, he didn't phone me back. And then she's now discouraged. Because with her next post, she's going on about, oh, you know, people get chances and they're always turning chances down and this and that and, you know, and blah and blah and blah. And I'm like, okay, clearly you're getting depressed now. Clearly you're going into a mourning stage, because this is not the first time this woman has tried to help me with the foundation to inspire others to step up to the plate that actually live in the United States of America. The first group didn't work out, and she's looking for another group, and for whatever reason she seems to think this man has potential and has shown an interest in doing something for his freaking country. So what better person to hook up somebody with other than me, in terms of a federal trademark that instantly puts him into every state once the trademark is re-registered, and then it's up to him to do something with it for 10 years. To which I believe he could. I do, people. Because if I didn't believe it, I wouldn't be falling for the old okie dokie and getting hopeful with it. But I'm also realistic. I've been doing this for 22 years. I realize that, you know, people are reluctant to change. That's one thing. They're afraid of the steps that you have to take in order to even maybe become successful. Maybe. People are either afraid of becoming successful, or they're afraid of falling flat on their face and then losing everything. So before you lose everything, be completely humiliated and go into mourning, it's just sometimes better not to try. So whatever this dude is thinking or feeling, or even if he's even aware that we're even talking about him, being that he's not answering his phone or email or whatever she did, in terms of he's not answering me back, I'm like, yeah, well, you know, the call is there, and sometimes when the door is closing, the last one that gets through the door, right, you know, is the strongest one. So, you know, it's not over just yet. And like I said before, even if the trademark goes off to the wayside, people, you know, there is nothing set in stone. There is nothing preventing me from re-registering and starting all over again. There's nothing preventing me from carrying on with whatever it is that I think that I'm doing. And maybe in a year or two from now, you know, my circumstances will be in a different situation where I'm actually doing something, even in like doing something productive and whatever, right? In the States, where there's no anything written in stone, but it's there in stone. Okay, so I'm, you know, but I'm like, so now we're on this emotional roller coaster. And you know, and I'm joking with her. I'm telling her, well, you know, this is where we need a man, right? You know, because a man helps to level out women's emotions, you know, right? Because we're like, you know, one minute she's all excited and bringing me up, and now I'm excited and she's crashing, and I'm trying to bring her up and reassure her that don't worry, if this guy can't do it, then, you know, don't cast judgment. It's just the way it is, right? Just move along. However, you know, I hope he gets this message, people. I really do, because, you know, it's not the amount of the gift that counts. It's the idea that somebody's giving you a gift. Last year, I phoned up the trademark office. I said, look, I got the $3,600 or whatever the hell it was, Canadian, to re-register all 4 classes. I was under the impression I had to do that last year. They told me no, right? You have to do it in 2022. You can't do it now. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, that's going to be kind of hard because, you know, I've been doing food prep for a long time. And we know that my biggest sense of security is making sure I've got enough chickpeas to make what I need to make for Mari and just stupid shit like that, right? You know what I'm saying? And just with the, you know, getting discouraged with life and losing my eyesight and, you know, trying to face the United States on my own for another 10 years is just, you know, so I let it kind of slide, right? And then along comes my friend and saying, well, hold on. I know you only got 1 month left, but there might be some salvation in there, and, you know, and don't get discouraged, you know, stay positive, and I'll go check this dude out and see if he's serious about what he's talking about, because if he's serious, you know, whatever. And I'm like, holy shit, okay, well, if this happens, I got to show that I'm serious. You see, that's the thing. I have to show that I'm serious, so that's why I'm willing to forfeit on 2 bills to at least guarantee that I can come up with $800 Canadian. And I'm only basing this on 1 class, okay? He can pick the class. It doesn't matter to me. Because as it is right now, it's $625 for 1 class to the federal government. That's American funds, right? Because I'm in my grace period right now. I was supposed to re-register in June, and then I've only got a 6-month grace period, to which I'm coming to the very end of it, which ends on Boxing Day of all things. Go figure. Right? So if I was to add in $625 for the 1 class, right, with the trademark office, and then another $350 for the quote that I got from the lawyer, that's what, $975 US just to secure 1 class, and that's all he would need to get the ball rolling, which buys him 10 years of unlimited opportunities. Okay, let's just face it, right? Okay, and the support of another country called Canada. That's a big one, right? That would cost me $1,327.77, or sorry, 70 cents in Canadian funds, to which I just don't have, people. I just don't have, right? But I can cough up 800 Canadian, right? That's easy. I'm you know how many times I've greased myself down? Uncle John, we used to call it, we grease ourselves down with this. You know, you go about your day, whatever, and then these trademark dues would come up, or I'd have to pay my lawyer, right? And, you know, pay for fees or whatever it was. And I'd be like, oh, gee, John, you know, we got to come up with $2,000. Like, you know, oh, where are we going to come up with it? And he's, oh, Judy, don't worry, you'll figure it out. And I'm like greasing myself down. I'm like, okay, well, I'll cut back on this. I'll do this. I can snag a bit of money there, pull out a little bit over there, and boom, I'd pay. Well, it's the same situation. It isn't anything that Uncle John and I haven't done before. Okay, so I don't know what it's like to feel like a man, to have some strange woman sitting up in Canada offering to do that for me, but put the pressure on me to produce something in terms of manufacturing wealth, because that's basically what he would be doing. And he would use different venues and avenues to do it. And I'm talking about community wealth that can create employment for people, that can distract people away from situations where that puts them in bad situations where they get lured to their death and fall off freaking buildings while nobody notices. Okay? Just whatever it is. So I'm kind of hopeful right now. How about let's just end it there, right? I'm trying to figure out how we can share this man if this man shares. That was going to be my next joke, right? I said, with all this emotional up and down, positive, negative, frightful, happy, hopeful, scared, disappointed, just all these, emotions. Again, this is where a strong man, a good man could do a lot in 10 years for a lot of, emotions that are going to be going through the community, through the trials and tribulations of just what we're going through in society, right? And a good man with good leadership skills could do a lot in 10 years, right? And of course, I'm trying to stay cocky and helpful and hopeful, right? You know what I mean? Because if this man doesn't step up to the plate, people, then I'm going to go into mourning. I'll mourn the United States of America, and I'll mourn for its people. I'm not mourning a trademark per se, as I'm mourning for the people, right? I don't know how to explain it any other way. So what does YouTube do? Because YouTube doesn't want me to be successful. We already know that, people. It's not what it's about. Right? So they're shadow banning, obviously, the channel. The video, as usual. That's normal. But this conversation that has something like 27, 25 posts on it, they've hidden it. They've hidden it from the public. So only she can see it, and I can see it, and whoever is censoring it and taking down their information so they can, at some point, use it against me to disenfranchise me even more. Or others, for that matter. Right? Maybe this man would like to read what is being written about him before he makes a final decision, but YouTube is taking that away. Because for whatever reason, they seem to think that whatever we're talking about here, me and my girlfriend, is so inappropriate and wrong, which is a bunch of freaking hogwash. And this is why, if this man doesn't step up to the plate and take a chance, really, on himself first, right? And put his best foot forward and keep going forward with his best foot. Well, I can't sit around going blind for another 10 years waiting for another person like that to show up. Okay. But the thing is, YouTube doesn't even want it to happen because they're censoring out the comment. Right? Which is really disgusting. Because as they're censoring out the comment, they're feeding into that old okie dokie of what the epitome, I guess you could say, is when it relates to being black in America and successful on YouTube. What happened here? Because I can only assume, I can't prove. After I did this video, the American Black Woman one, somebody emailed me that's been watching my videos for a long time, a different woman, a different black woman, right? Informed me of some things. And, okay, whatever. I told her the story about Mo and the little Mo that showed up at the door. Because I'm traumatized by that, people. I really am. Like, what did you want, Mo? Like, what is it that you want from me? There's obviously something that you want from me. I know you want me to tell your story, right? You want me somehow just to get the word out. I don't know what the word is, but I just know that there was a reason why he was showing such an interest in Mama Lynn. Okay? So I go on to Latrice Allen to see if she caught wind of what I had to say about this woman. Being that she's so big and bad on YouTube. And she knows everything. And she gets this little video going on about scammed who? 2 days ago. She put it up. When did I put up my video? November 27th. So pretty much the same time. Okay? And this is what she's got to say. Let's just listen for a second.
And y'all can stop emailing me about other people's business. Like, y'all know I don't like people, I don't deal with people. So y'all gonna tag me and say, ooh girl, like I care. Or like I wanna laugh at their pain, which I know they laugh at me.
Like I wanna laugh at their pain, like I know that they're laughing at me. Somebody emailed her about something that they seen or heard and wanted her to know that this person was talking about them, but she doesn't mention who the hell she's talking about.
With stuff going on, but me, the type of person I ain't giving a damn about what nobody going through that I was once cool with. That ain't
Okay, well, first of all, if she is making reference to me, let's get the record straight. She was never cool with me. Okay? She was misleading. There is a difference. Okay? She was having a back to school backpack drive. And she was going to go out and set up tables and do things with the kids in her local neighborhood as she gave away products, school supplies, and that kind of thing. And she was asking for people to make donations, whether to send her things like backpacks, that kind of thing, or to make financial donations for her cause. I got enticed to make a donation with what I was capable of doing. In other words, I gave her if she wants to do something like that, well, we have the Malcolm X chocolate milk parties. Back to school, Malcolm X chocolate chocolate. The back to school Malcolm X chocolate milk parties had already done it. She was doing something similar. That's why I sent her the information for the nonprofit in an envelope that was that thick. Okay? With legitimate paperwork. And then I sent her some of the XG Kids hats, which disappeared. We know I sent her do-rags, to which she handed over to her son, and he wears them on YouTube, or he did in the past, I don't know about anymore, without giving credit where credit was due. Because she basically buried me. That's what she did. Because the one time where I actually had a chance to communicate with her through her chat, to confirm that she even got the gifts. And before I sent it, I put on big stamps. They were huge, of whales, because you know I like to promote stamp collecting, right? And she panned all the boxes that were mailed to her from all the people for this backpack drive, right? And I seen the box So I knew she received it because I could see the stamps on it. So that I knew, but I didn't know how she felt about it, or what she thought about it, or if she was interested in helping me, or if she was just going to give the stuff to the people, right? Because I just said, just give to them and let them know that Mama Lynn in Canada cares about them. If you give a little child an ex-G Kid hat, let them know from where it came from, right? They're not asking very much. From a woman, Mama Lynn, from Canada. That's how far that hat traveled. Okay? Over 3,000 miles, because she was in Florida by that time. Okay? I'm on the West Coast. She's on the East Coast. That's a 3,000 mile difference. That's why I was so interested to know if she even got the package, considering all things said. And you know what she had to say, people? Because she read my comment, right? And she, well, it stunk, because I had sent her black walnut ink powder, black walnuts, black walnut wood, for her son to connect with, I guess you could say, nature, and be creative, because with black walnut you can draw a picture that will last 1,000 years, or you can write words that will last 1,000 years. And she was having problems with her son at that time. This was, what, in 2016 or something like that? So it was just my way of trying to help her to connect with her son, to help her it was my way of helping her to help her son get more grounded, so that her and her son could have a better relationship. Because it goes back to that moral support. And I was grateful that she was out there doing that backpack drive for the kids, and I admired her for all that stuff, people. And you know, I put her on a fucking pedestal, and I had esteem for her, that she'd look at my paperwork, and because it came in legitimately in terms of federal trademarks and whatnot, being that she was, you know, on the fly, I guess you could say, I thought that she'd be smart enough to realize that something very important was in front of her, and she'd follow through on taking whatever it was that she was doing it and making it go fucking national. Oh, and she didn't, people. She turned around and she said that my shit stunk. Okay? And then she just blew it off and ignored me from that point forward. So, okay, of course, I sat back and I said shit, nothing for years. And then one day she was up on YouTube bragging on about something, I don't know what the fuck it was or whatever she was talking about. And I said, well, you know, all these years have passed, like, you know, do you think maybe have you ever really stopped? Like, can you help me with the foundation? That's all I ever said, people. Again, her response was no. I haven't made my $1 million yet. Contact me when I make my $1 million. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I left her alone. Didn't bother her. A small chance is better than no chance. I didn't want to piss her off. I didn't want to intimidate her. I didn't want her to feel gang stalked by me, by, you know, some white chick in Canada stalking her. But, you know, I looked up to her. I thought that she had the ability to make a difference, being that's what she came out on. But as soon as she said, no, I haven't made my $1 million, whatever, I just, like, forget it. And now, because I'm coming to the death of my foundation, a part of my foundation is the death, people. It's like another death for me. I've lost Shimei, I've lost Sierra, I've lost a founding director to this foundation. Uncle John would say, you can get through it, Judy, you figure it out. I know, I trust you, I know you can do it. We grease ourselves down to make sure that those fees were paid so that we could get to the next level within this trademark, so that maybe one day we could meet just even one person, one fucking human being that actually cared enough about, you see this, I don't want to gaslight, one human being that actually was an entrepreneur and was willing to take a chance on a new idea. Let's just put it like that, okay? After 22 years, it hasn't happened. And so I'm going through a mourning stage. I told this to my friend on the phone. You know, I'm going into it. You can see I'm getting teary-eyed over it. because you have to let go, even though whatever else you're thinking about. But I don't appreciate, you know, the cover-up. The cover-up. Okay? Because it's just a fucking cover-up. This video that she's going on about, scammed who, she doesn't talk about who she's making reference to. But she does say this. Listen to this. Now, the majority of her supporters are women. Nothing more, nothing less. Very seldom does she get a man in there saying anything. Okay? But, for whatever reason, listen to this. Oh, hold on a minute. I gotta check Amari, because he's being a Houdini baby. How do you do that? Seriously, man. You're getting good at this. I'm almost done this video now. I have to bring out another crib rail. I've got two inside. I just have to sand them down a bit, get Andre to paint them. Right? And, because he was this way and then he turned himself that way, so... And then the other day he fell off the couch, right? But because his wheelchair is there, he kind of bumped his head on the foot thing. So now I have to cover that up. But I also have to bring out another rail because I don't know how he flipped himself around. Okay, so, because don't forget, we got little Mo showing up here after Mo died. Okay? Okay? But she makes reference to this, which I find kind of odd.
I'm not the type that wanna sit back and be like, ooh, that's good for him. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm telling you, when you sit back and you be praying on people, stuff that happen to people, it can backfire on you, honey. So I think, Trees, I am the one that emailed you. Oh yeah. Okay, hey baby, how you doing, sugar? I'm a young nigga. Don't play with it.
I'm a young, you know what? Don't play with it. So, in other words, he's stating that to be a man. He's stating himself to be a man there, right? Women don't normally talk about shit like that to women, right? That's not, I'm just a young hoe. I'm just a young bitch. You know, no. This is a man that she's supposedly reading from her comment sections, to which is very unusual. And don't forget, Mo just fell off the freaking 30-story building with little Mo coming in on the side. Like, what the hell?
100 did him. Baby, you right with that name. You is a young nigga. I don't want nobody with that name. You need to change your name to King or something.
You need to change your name to King or something. That just makes me think of Mo, people. You know, right? Because I know she knows about my videos. You see, that's the thing. So, with YouTube, okay, we'll just leave it at that, okay? I mean, just whatever. It doesn't matter. It will be what it will be, right? The point is that, you know, she's not as slick as she seems to think she is, okay? And obviously YouTube is feeding into something here by by hiding comments, but yet allowing the conversation to carry on between me and my friend, where nobody can see it except us and whoever else is reading it from YouTube staff, okay? To which, again, is a form of censorship, shadow banning, and everything, so that what we were just listening to can be protected and held to that esteem in order to trick other people along the way, like I was tricked. That's the way I interpret it. That's the way I see it. That's the way I experience it. That's why I have a problem with YouTube, because it's bias, it's prejudice, it's a self-interest corporation that exploits the most vulnerable, in my opinion. Now, I could be wrong. I could be just overreacting because I'm emotional, right? Either or. That's all I got to say. Outside of, I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to upload it as is. And then I'm going to start fresh I just exited out of her video there. I just wanted you to hear that, because throughout that video she doesn't mention who it is that she's talking about. She just mentions it, right? To say that she's aware, but it's insignificant because it means nothing. And exactly, that's exactly, it means nothing, right? So, you know, that's just a reminder of where people's priorities are. So now my friend is not saying anything to me in terms of comments, but she could be busy. I was going to read the comments from one to the other, to the other, to the other, but not at this point. I could copy and paste. I could copy and paste and be rebellious. The whole 25 comments or whatever, and repost them, whether in the comments section, which YouTube staff could come and just delete altogether if they wanted to and be sneaky about it when I'm not looking, or I could take that whole thread and put it into my description box so that whatever's happening now doesn't get lost, because, you know, time is the weapon, people, right? Who cares about Mo falling off the balcony, right? Obviously somebody benefited from that, seriously, okay? We know illegal organ harvesting is happening out here. You know, I mentioned that to Tisha, and she goes, oh, well, no, they're not going to harvest his organs. They're all mush now because he fell 30 floors down. I said, yeah, well, Tisha, that's not the only thing that they harvest. It's not just organs that they harvest. They harvest the skin. The skin lives for like over, what, 24, 48 hours or something like that, the actual skin itself. You know, and then there's the hair, and there's the teeth, and, you know, they take the bones and the arteries, and, you know, they need arteries for heart transplants, and there's all kinds of things that they do with dead bodies out here. So, you know, waste not, want not. Somebody's getting paid. With Mo's spirit in the house, here. Yeah. Well, YouTube is trying to prop up propaganda as they silence people like me. So anyway, I'm going to end this video, and when I come back, I'm going to show you that date sugar that I created, which isn't too bad. I'm kind of impressed with it, honestly. And then I got my delivery in, okay? So I got the one from Organic Matter. So now we'll have a comparison between my date sugar and their date sugar. Right? Got my chickpeas, doing laundry, just whatever, right? And then we'll just carry on. Oh, yes, and I'm working on, before you got to hear this, you seen me working on the puppet house, right? I haven't been able to get to my sewing desk to clear it off to get to my sewing machine because, you know, life calls me in other directions in this house. But I'm working on it. So when that time comes and I'm actually can get to my sewing machine, you know, right, then we'll work on the puppet show house, right? Because, you know, I want to do this for the kids, right? Cracking with my girlfriend on the phone, talking about, well, we'll go into the manufacturing of boxes. That's what we'll do. We'll manufacture boxes just so that, you know, people can make puppet houses for their children or their grandchildren, you know, and then we'll take that profit and we'll put that profit back into the community, right? Because, you know, we're hanging on those little threads, you know, kind of like those little threads in my eyes, right? You know, for that miracle. We're hanging on to little threads for a miracle. Right, so I don't know, people. Okay, so I hope you get something from this. I don't know what the message is in terms of the greater message, other than I think that what YouTube is doing is silencing the message even more so. And, you know, it makes me just want to... Because they want you to accept your fate. They want you to be unsuccessful. They want you to be that bitch. That abused bitch. Know your place, right? Well, it's certainly not under Latrice Allen. I can tell you that right now, people. No, I don't think so. Okay. I'm going to leave it on that note.